Hello, thank you for being here. My name is Paul Barrett, and I am here with Stacy Morgan and Elnora Spencer for a conversation uh, hosted by ArtsRevive, uh, a an arts nonprofit from Selma, Alabama, founded in 2003, and this event has been sponsored by the Alabama Humanities Alliance. Um, Forgive me reading. University of Alabama professor Stacy Morgan earned his BA at Wesleyan University and a PhD at Emory University. Most recently, I've had the pleasure of reading his book, The Story Quilts of Yvonne Wells, that he published through University of Alabama Press very recently, along with the collaboration of Ms. Wells, which has thrilled me. And I am very grateful to Dr. Morgan that this is the third Alabama Humanities Alliance event that he has graciously participated in, having previously been in conversation with Sean Leonardo around the traveling exhibition Men of Change, and also discussing Spider Martin's photographs of the marches from Selma to Montgomery with Selma foot soldiers Joyce O'Neill and Diane Harris. So, Stacy, thank you very much for being here. And the star of our show today, Elnora Spencer, right here, was born in Birmingham, Alabama, and began singing at the age of 4. In addition to her many years of solo concerts, she has performed with B.B. King, Percy Sledge, Bobby Womack, the Deftones, and the Alabama Symphony Orchestra, and many more. In the recording studio, she sang backup for Taylor Hicks, and on the soundtrack for the 2004 documentary Quilt Makers of Gee's Bend. In addition to a long career as a singer, Elnora has created paintings inspired by her hopes and dreams, scenes of everyday life, and other things that pop into her mind from time to time as a way to relax. She currently has an exhibition at Gallery 905 that is part of ArtsRevive in Selma. And with that, I am going to step back and turn the conversation over to Stacy and Elnora.
Thanks, Paul. So I'm here just to provide a scaffolding for Elnora to talk about her experiences. So Elnora, I'm hoping today we can talk about both your music and your visual artwork. And I wanted to start with the music. And if we could maybe go back to try to start at or near the beginning. I know you started singing very early in life and that you came of age in a home that was full of music and musicians. Could you tell us a little bit about the kind of music that you grew up with and how you yourself started to perform?
Well, I kind of grew up with gospel a lot
Mm-hmm.
around the house because my I was adopted, but my birth mother, I knew my birth mother, and uh, she was a singer. She sung gospel. My
Mm-hmm.
adopted mother was a singer and sung gospel.
Yeah.
And sometimes they would get together, and both of them was, I mean, real good cooks. So we'd be in the kitchen,
Mm-hmm.
and they'd be singing, and we'd be backgrounding each other, just singing and stuff like that around the house and stuff. But uh, my father, my adopted father, he the one that recognized me being a singer when I was 4, because he heard me humming around the house,
Mm-hmm.
and he said, "My baby can sing," and that kicked off everything. I was singing a lot, and then when I started elementary school and stuff, as I was saying earlier, I would be singing on side the building, and kids would join in with me and be dancing to to me making up songs and stuff.
Wow.
And when I got in the second grade, one of the teachers, they was having a PTA program, and she asked, "Do we have any new singers in that place?" I didn't sit there because I was real shy, if you can believe that or not. I was shy during that time.
Yeah.
And other kids said, "Elnora can sing, Miss Parker," and I was like, "Mm-mm," you know. And she made me come up and made me sing a song. Uh, I think My living would not be in vain or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I sung that. And once I sung that, she called the principal down. Next thing I know, I was on every PTA program that came along. And that's what the start. And then when the church found out everything, then next thing I know, I'm in the choir. And it just went from, next thing I know, I was singing at 5 different churches, 5 different uh, choir robes.
Oh,
And
wow.
singing all over the neighborhood and singing at funerals when I was 7. Started singing at funerals and stuff. And
Mm.
just a life of me singing a lot. And like I said, in school, they would pull me out of classes. The principals and stuff would make me learn songs that they want me to sing for some program. And, you know, I
Yeah.
became the
So you were singing both in churches and funerals and in
school.
school. Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you tell us how the little Mahalia nickname came about?
I was, they was having this big gospel carnival at the school with my college and all these people, and I think I was like during that time, I think I was in the 7th grade or something like that. And
Mm-hmm.
uh, they had me to sing Mahalia Jackson song, Soon I Will Be Done, The Trouble of the World.
Mm.
Okay. And when I went to singing, and all of a sudden these people went to screaming and hollering and stuff, and it scared me, and I'm crying because I thought they didn't like me. And the teachers, he said,
Mm.
"No, baby, they love you. That's why they're crying." And going on. So then they said, "You sound like a little Mahalia," and they started calling me Little Mahalia at that
Yeah.
time for me singing that song and
Yeah.
singing a lot of gospel around, whew, some like all the churches and stuff where I grew up at, I was singing.
Yes. So you must have had a
And
really strong voice from early
yeah,
on. Yeah.
well, one of the teachers told my mother one time, she told her that, she said, "Miss Spencer, if I was you, I'd take my child away from here." Because she got the voice of an adult that don't come,
Mm.
as I didn't sound like a little kid. I sound like a grown person, you know,
Yeah.
when I was just 7 years old and stuff, and I'm sounding like somebody grown. And
Yeah.
a lot of people used to say when they heard me, I had this strong voice that you could hear me way off, and like I'd be singing at the church, and people come in, they say, "I thought that was a grown person, a little girl, little baby up there singing." Yeah, so
Wow. That's really
believe it or not, I was a little bitty kid.
mm-hmm.
Can't tell it now, but
Little bitty kid with a great big voice, huh?
yeah,
Yeah.
that because they used to call me Rabbit. See, when I was little, they used to call me
Yeah.
Rabbit. Now I'm like a big jackrabbit, so totally different.
Yeah. Now, I wanted to ask about how you got from doing gospel to also doing blues. And one reason I asked that because I know, like, first, there are some churches that really, they want you to choose either gospel
Oh, that came
or
up.
blues, church or street
Mhm.
music and juke music.
Mhm.
Did you have any kind of friction with that at all? Or?
Well, I was like, let's see, I had been, yeah, this was after I got married and was divorced. Okay, but
Okay.
anyway, how was it before I got married? Anyway, I was, we had, I was singing to this church, my home church, and
Hmm.
what happened was they wanted me to record a gospel uh, record at the time. They CDs now, but it was record then for the
Right.
church to raise money for the church and stuff. Okay, so they
Hmm.
sent me to this guy who had been playing for years, and we supposed to have been picking out some songs and stuff like that. But he was in a band. They didn't know that, but he was in a band, local band, and he's doing like we had picked out a song and stuff, but he started playing these other songs, and I was singing along with him. He said, "You know this song?" Yeah, and so one thing led to another. He started playing that non-religious song, like like
Yeah.
Gladys Knight stuff and stuff like that. And I was singing them. And then he said, "You ever thought about being in a band?"
Hmm.
And that's how they got started. And then I was asked to. I went out with a friend of mine, and we was at this club, and cause we had stopped to get. They were selling fish, having fish sandwiches, and we bought a fish sandwich. And he said, "Well, the club open now because in daytime you can go in there and get out the heat and eat your sandwich." So we went in there, and the DJ was in there getting ready for the night, and so he got to talking to us, and he said, "Y'all should come out there." And the girl I was with told him, say, "Well, my friend sang just like that." So I'm like, "No, I don't." He said, "Sing something for me. Ain't nobody in here but us sing a song for him." So I sung for him. And he asked us to come back that night. And that night when I went back, it was during the classic, and the place was packed, right? And
Mm-hmm.
during it, when the band took a break, he told everybody that he heard this girl sing earlier, and he wanted her to come up, just sing a little something for him so they could hear me. And I went up in that and I sung, had my eyes closed, one paying attention. I heard all these people clapping and for me and stuff. And then
Yeah.
after, uh, this lady came up to me and said, she put $50 in my hand, and she said, "Baby, you got it." She said, "Don't stop."
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of
Mm-hmm.
kicked it off, right? Then this time somebody asked me to be in a band, and I got in the band, and we started doing stuff. And when it got back to the church, they did what you call an intervention on me.
Oh, I
Once,
see.
yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
after church one Sunday, my mama and the preacher and the deacons, all these people was in there, and they said, "Elnora, I hear you singing at a club," and I said, "Yeah." Now, you know, you're gonna have to make up your mind, which way you wanna go. Now, I had been a religious kind of person all my life, and I always have talked to God every day, just like I'm talking to you right now. So,
Yeah.
and so I had said that I put it in His hands. But like I told him, at the time I needed a job, and the club was paying. When
Mm-hmm.
nobody else gonna pay my bills. And I told them, I said, I look at it like a job. It's the way of paying my bills and and stuff like that. I don't have
Yeah.
to hang out with everybody else getting drunk and nothing like that. I'm just singing a song. And
Right.
to me, music speaks to the heart, and it brings joy. And no
Yeah.
matter what you're singing, you know what I'm saying?
Sure. For sure.
Yeah. So anyway, and I told them, if they're gonna pay my bills, hey. But in
It's
the
a living.
meantime,
Mm-hmm.
like I told them, I took it to the Lord, and I left it up to God. And I said, these were my very words. I said, now, the first person that called me to do, for singing, if it's something for the church, I was gonna go to gospel. If it was for the club, I was gonna go to the blues and stuff. Which
Mm-hmm.
way? And the first person that called me was the band, the band
The
and stuff.
band. Yeah.
So that made my choice. Plus,
Yeah.
I had this dream that I was singing in a club with a real pretty night evening gown on,
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of
Mm-hmm.
pinched it. And the strangest thing that happened was while I be singing up there sometimes, something will come through me, and I be singing like I'm talking to somebody out there. And it was people that would come up to me and say, "I know you weren't singing no gospel, but it was something in your voice make me. I'm going to church this Sunday." That's the kind of stuff I got.
Wow. Mhm.
Yeah, when I first started singing out in the club, and I don't know what was a form of me a kind of form of me preaching or something, but I wasn't really, you know, saying no biblical words or anything like that. I was just singing, but that person felt something else while I was singing.
That's really
And,
fascinating. Yeah. Well,
and
blues and jazz music can pick you up too, right? So,
yeah, yeah, it picked me up a lot.
yeah. I
Yeah.
know for people that have had the opportunity and the privilege to see you perform. I saw you recently at a concert down in Selma,
Hmm.
just a week or so ago, a week or two ago. I jotted down. I noticed you saying blues and R&B, jazz, pop,
Hmm.
rock, and disco, and probably something else I missed. So,
Yeah,
you've always enjoyed
all
listening
type
to
of
and
music.
performing all kinds of different
All
music.
type of music. I always,
Yeah.
as a teenager, you could hardly get me out the house because I used to be in my room all the time, listening to stuff like Journey, Air Supply, uh,
Hmm.
Phil Collins,
Yep.
and stuff like that, and my other stuff.
Right.
And my mom, she'd be like, she hear me singing jazz, she'd be like, "Yeah, if you don't cut that noise out," she didn't like the jazz. And but if I was singing gospel or stuff, she would all for that, all the blues, she was for that. But
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
didn't like. She'd be like, "Cut that mess out."
Yeah.
So, but
Mm.
yeah, but I always loved all type of music because I think, especially the lyrics, they speak to you. If you could be
Yeah.
going through a bad time, and you can hear
Hmm.
a song that are kind of like
Hmm.
they're talking to you, and
Yeah.
it either lift you up and get you out of that, that bad
Yeah.
mood. Yeah.
Yeah. For sure. Now
Yeah.
you mentioned joining that first band. Now I know you also led a band
Hmm.
for several years. Could you tell us a little bit about how that came about, and then I guess sort of what the challenges were of trying to lead a band and uh,
Well,
touring widely?
starting off, uh, uh, a couple of my childhood friends that also had some talent, and one was a guitar player. The other guy, he sung, and he used to do Jane Brown, just like Jane Brown. And
Mm.
but the guitar player, we decided to put a band together. It was after the guy was telling you about that was been teaching me the gospel music.
Yep.
We had formed a band too. We didn't stay together that long, and but I formed a band with the guy with the guitar, and I supposed to have been singing, just the regular little songs like for Gladys Knight, stuff like that, and he was gonna sing the blues. Okay, so it was a guy that got with us, called himself our manager, and he booked us at this little place that never had a band before that, deep down in the woods somewhere in Walker County.
Mm.
And and after all that practice and stuff we did, the guy with the guitar, he got up there. When it was time for him to sing, he froze. And the band kept playing the songs
Oh no.
over and over and over and over. He still standing up there, everybody waiting on him to sing. And
Yeah.
then the guy that booked said, "Elnora, you know that song? You singing. It was a blues song." So then I started singing it because this guy was heckling him, right? So I started
Hmm.
singing this song and started singing it to the guy that was heckling him. Then everybody turned around and started laughing at him,
Nice.
and it was that song, Man Size Job.
Oh yeah.
And
Hmm.
that shut him up. That shut him. So that was the beginning of me singing the blues, for
Yeah.
for everything. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that was crazy. But
Well, well played. Um, I wonder, is there anything you would want to say about are there particular challenges trying to be a woman in the music field and the music business?
well, it was harder uh, for females during the time when I first started because they
Hmm.
treated us like second class, whatever, and we supposed to do whatever they said do about it. But I was a little different, and
Hmm.
soon they found out. See, my daddy, God bless his soul, when he was alive, he raised me and taught me how men are, you know.
Hmm.
And so I didn't take no mess. Uh, when I got out there, I treated, and if some of the guys around tell you, I treated my band members like they were my babies. You didn't mess with my guys.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to deal with me. I have
Hmm.
stood toe to toe with male club owners, and to make sure I got paid, and make sure my band got paid, and they were taken care of. And for some reason, I didn't have no fear during that time. And uh, it got me a reputation of I would say a little respect because
Yeah. Sure.
I didn't take too much, mess off nobody, and
Hmm.
I still was a female, and I still acted like a female, but I was real careful, because while we was out there during that time, some of the club owners would offer you all kind of narcotics and
Mhm.
different stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I always like, we ain't gonna have that, you know. I want my money. And that's where I be saying, I want my money. Give me my money. you know.
Yeah.
And 'cause I had I ain't gonna name the person, but I had some people that were real popular in Birmingham at the time. And they backstabbed me because I was young and didn't know no better. And they used my name when I started, getting a little name for myself. They called themselves hiring me, but they didn't ever pick me up to take me to the show. And come to find out, he took somebody else and called them Elnora Spencer.
Oh,
Yeah, down in
wow.
Mississippi. And but what he didn't figure out that he almost got away with, but one of the club owners had seen me before and said, "That is not Elnora Spencer." And she was a little
Mm,
skinny girl, and you can see I was full figure. And and then
mhm.
the bass player told me, he said, and she couldn't sing either, Elnora, and he called her Elnora Spencer. And so when he came back, I got a lawyer. And he couldn't believe that I put a lawyer on him. That was something
Yeah.
unknown for. And I had to let them know that I wasn't going to be misused like that.
Right.
They weren't going to get away with doing stuff to me. And matter of fact, when they gave me the award for lifetime achievement over that workplace, the females and said they made a statement about how I was. I set an example for the rest of the women, and
Mm.
you know, uh, because I was just being myself. Uh, I was always told just because Johnny go drop off the roof, that don't mean you got to jump off behind him. I never been a follower. I never been a follower. I'm not quite a leader either, but I never been a follower. And one of the things that kept me going, I never like say if I'm out, they kept me out of trouble, and I'm in a like not such a good place, singing somewhere to one of these little clubs and stuff.
Mm.
I paid attention. I would never like if I had a drink in my hand, I would never leave the drink on the table and come back and drink it. Uh, if I left it on the table, I would go get another one. I would never drink that drink. And I always stand up there and watch the bartender put, whatever. And a lot of people at the time thought I was drinking, but all I had was orange juice and grenadine. But he made the bartender would make it look like I was drinking a drink. So I fooled a lot of people that I was drunk, thinking that I wasn't and drinking. But
Well,
and
this
I
makes me
always try
curious.
to be kind and sweet to everybody. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I sung at this club in Atlanta one night. They had me there 2 nights straight, and they had I mean people were lined up all down the street, coming in and stuff, and everybody wanted to take pictures with me. They were treating me like I was somebody that had a record out. At the time I didn't even have a record, and one girl looked at me and she said, "You know what? So you ain't stuck up at all. You just nice, just treat everybody nice and stuff, you
Yeah.
know." Um, that,
Yeah. And people will see that. Yeah. Well, this makes
yeah.
me wonder too. I really don't, I may be wrong, but I'm just not aware maybe that there's been that much documentation about the music club scene in Alabama.
Mhm.
I don't know if there's
I
any,
always
and
wanted to do that.
those stories made me wonder, is there anything else you
Mhm.
think might be interesting for people to know just about the kind of places you played, what
Oh yeah, some of
any
them was
particular ones that stick in your mind?
some of was a some of them was a little shady. Some of them,
Sure.
you know, like I could tell you. Okay, uh, we had this piano player that everybody know. If I mention his name, everybody that know in Birmingham know him, and he would do stuff get everybody else in trouble for some kind of reason. He always was the one, nothing happened to. So one night we were singing at one club, nice club, and he had booked us at another club the same night. But what he didn't tell us that he didn't tell the guy that we were finna leave and then come back. And he had took the guy mic, the cordless mic away from there. And we went to the other club. And he said, everything all right. I don't straighten it out with everybody. We're gonna go over here, we're gonna do one set, and then we're gonna come back here and finish up over here. Well, the club owner didn't know that. And we left. And when we came back, he had locked everything up, took the equipment, and went and a whole big argument started, and everything. And all the time, the guy with the mic had it on the outside. And he let these people fight and argue inside and everything. And he got away with it. So that was one of the craziest situations. And then one night I was singing at this club. I'm in the dressing room, and I hear everything was still, music was still going. It was kind of quiet. And then they said, Elnora, girl, come look out there. The guitar player wife, he must have done something, he had no business, but she had done broke through the crowd and had a gun, and she had got on stage, and she had the gun pointed at him. But guess what? The band didn't stop playing. The band just moved over. They just moved up and left him out there and kept playing. That was funny. But this is kind of crazy stuff would happen to us and stuff. Yeah, we had some times.
Yeah.
I might have got off this subject.
No. Those are really fascinating stories, I think. I'm wondering, you've collaborated with so many legendary performers, and I'm sure many local performers are less well known in Alabama. Were there any of those musical collaborations that are over the years have been especially memorable for you? Whether because you really liked and admired that person's music, or just because it was another musician that was just really enjoyable to perform
I like
with.
me, Bob Blue Bland, for instance. We kind of down when I first opened the show, when he first heard me, he had me to sing one of his songs. Yeah, and that was real nice with him up there with me. He had left his dressing room, bought me some flowers, had me some flowers up there, and we were doing our thing down there. And his some of the guys in his bands, that he had never done that before with nobody. But
that's quite a thing, yeah.
But yeah, I got hit on a few times by them.
Yeah.
When I was younger. And but it was fun times. It was real, lots of fun. Meeting people like Johnny Taylor, and actually being kissed on the cheek by him and his two sons too. Each one of them kissed me on the cheek and stuff. And for him, like we had, I had opened this show in Birmingham at it used to be the little racetrack in 5 Point West. And we were doing a show. A Burning Bush production had put it on. And they always would hire me because pretty much they said I was pretty much the only female blues singer in Birmingham at the time. And it had been raining, so they thought it was going to be rained out and everything. But when it stopped, everything, they sent me out there to open up and everything, right? And I was opening up the show, and Little Milton and Johnny Taylor, Millie Jackson, and who else was on that show? I think it was Bobby Blue on that show. But I knew a Little Milton, Shirley Brown, that was on the show. But when Johnny Taylor had came, and he was still in the limo, and he heard me out there singing, and he hollered, he said, "Oh, we got to hurry up and I want to get on that stage with her because she tearing it up." We got to get on that stage. And I was told by one of the artists from Malaco had told me, he said, when they came to Birmingham and I was on the show, they know they had to work because I had a crowd going, and they know, and they didn't like that at all for a little amateur to be, to get the crowd up and stuff.
Right. They don't want to be upstaged. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they put me on almost all the blues shows that came to town. So that's how I got a chance to meet all these people and stuff.
I see.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
And BB, uh, when I opened show for him at the Botwell Auditorium, and
Hmm.
so he got to know me and stuff. And maybe I shouldn't be telling that, but he tried to get me to go, but I wouldn't. Anyway,
Yeah.
uh, he 2 years later at City Stages, they had him at City Stages, and he was in there signing autographs and stuff. And one of his crew members saw me, and they said, "Singer, singer, come here." Like that. They said, "He gonna be so glad to see you. He gonna be so glad to see you. Come on, let's go in here." Like that. I said, "He
Hmm.
ain't gonna know me." She said, "Yes, he will." I walked in, and there was a line of people getting ready to, trying to get his autograph. They pulled me
Hmm.
through the crowd, and when he looked up and saw me, he said, "There she is, ladies and gentlemen." He said, "That's the lady I asked to marry me. She turned me down." And I put my hands on my hips and I said, "You just didn't ask me right." Just like that. I said, "You had asked me right, I'd be Miss BB
Yeah.
right now." you know. And they wrote it up in the papers about him asking me to marry him and stuff. Yeah,
Oh
so
my. Yeah.
I had a lot of little crazy stuff like that to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in terms of the song, I know like asking a musician to pick their favorite songs, a little bit like asking a parent to choose their favorite child. But are there particular songs that are you consider like signature songs for Elnora, or that
Well,
ones you
okay.
really enjoy going back to time and again?
Well, for different types of, okay, like the gospel. My
Hmm.
favorite gospel song is "The Lord Will Make a Way Somehow."
Yeah.
Uh, and the reason why it's my favorite song is because my mama, when she used to be in the kitchen cooking, and she would start singing that song, "The Lord Will Make a Way Somehow." And for some reason, every time I sing that, and when I'm feeling down and stuff, then I know it's going to be all right. When I get through singing that, "The Lord will make a way somehow,"
Yeah.
and somehow how He does when we think nothing's going to, you know, happen. And then for the blues, was my signature song back during the time was "Down Home Blue." That was my signature signature song. That everybody knew it was gonna be me singing it at the end. Uh, then like, and Gladys Knight is one of my favorite artists. So
Hmm.
"You're the Best Thing That Ever Happened to Me" is one of my favorite songs by her. But because uh, well, you're the best thing, when you had a rough time, and really it could be looked at as a gospel song, because a lot of time lately when I sing it, I be talking about God. He's the best thing that
Yeah.
ever happened to me. Um, and let's see, it's another song that I'm trying to think of. Oh, like on my CD, "Smile," Charlie Chaplin song. Uh, "Smile." Those words mean a lot. Have you ever listened to 'em? Hmm. Have you ever,
Surprised me.
the "Smile"? You know what I'm talking about?
I do. Yes, I know that's.
Hmm. You ever listen to it?
I have. It's been a while, but yes.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
smile, though your heart is aching.
yeah.
Smile, even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you'll get by. Those words,
Mm.
that mean a lot.
Yeah, that's
And
beautiful.
yeah, but
Well, if I could try to transition us to talking about your visual artwork. I know
okay.
you told me that you started that a little bit later, like when you were a young adult,
Mm-hmm.
maybe like the late '90s or so. Were there
Mm.
was there specific catalyst for reason that why you started creating that, or just sort of happened?
Well, I was singing a lot during that time. Matter
Yeah.
of fact, it was one point in my life I was singing like 4 and 5 nights a week, and
Mm.
sometimes six. And I was so tired. you know, because that was the only job I had. And I had to go to, so I could pay my bills and stuff like that. And one night I came home and all I could hear was in my head was the club, the noise, and everything
Mhm.
going, and I couldn't rest. And so for some reason, I just picked up a pencil and a tablet, and I just started doodling. And then it started being a thing that I would do every night. And like I said, a friend of mine saw some of my stuff, and she said, "Well, you ever tried a canvas?" So that's when the picture with the little baby, and then
Mhm.
she bought me the canvas, and I you know started on that one. And then this thing I know, I was going to the store myself buying canvases, and just every night I come home and I paint a painting. I put it
Mhm.
aside, paint it in, put it aside. And this thing I know I had a room full of paintings going around the wall. And when uh, I was trying to put this all female band together, and they came over for rehearsal. Yeah, there you go, some of my stuff. Yeah, that's the painting right there we're talking about, the one I first started,
Yeah.
the little canvas. And the and they saw the paintings and they said, Eleanor, you ever showed these to anybody? Because I wasn't showing them to nobody. I was just painting them for myself. And so I told my lawyer about it, which his wife was Judge Sandra Storm at DHR. And when she saw it, she liked it because she loved the folk art. She told me she the one told me what it was. I didn't know what I was doing, and she told me
Mhm.
it was folk art.
Mhm.
And so then she knew Robert Cargo.
Yes.
She decided to bring me to Robert Cargo and show him some of my stuff,
Yeah.
and it just hit off there. But I was always painting for myself,
Yeah. Now,
and
if I could just jump in for a second, just for people that may not know, Robert Cargo was a professor at the University of Alabama, and he also had the Robert Cargo Folk Art Gallery in Tuscaloosa from the mid '80s through the early 2000s. What kind of advice did Robert Cargo offer to you in terms of
well,
art?
he told me, he said, what you do is what you call folk art. Well, she had already told me that, but he told me, and he said, and he asked me, have you had any training? And I told him no. I said it was just
Mm-hmm.
something I did, out of my head, and I just painted. He said, well, don't let nobody tell you how to paint. He said,
Mm-hmm.
keep doing it the way you doing, just like that. He said, because you got something. He said,
Yep.
uh, and he said, so she said, well, she's new at this. Do you know, how much should she charge? Just like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me, he looked at my paintings and looked at me and he said, start them off at $250. Now I was a brand new painter now.
Yep.
So I like, okay. He said, the more you put into it, the more uh, uh, stuff take your time and put in the details that you do in your paintings. He said, then you charge for what you feel like it's worth. He said, don't let nobody tell you what it's worth. You tell them what it's worth. So that's how it all, I got to doing this stuff. And that's why I be feeling like, whatever detail that I done put into the painting, then that's, because some of these paintings take more time than, some of the
Oh,
others.
sure.
hmm And I
Sure.
was, and I was kind of, at the time, you told me to tell about it, but I was kind of fast at painting.
Mm-hmm.
I would do two or three paintings when somebody took like 2 days to do two or three. I've been able to do two or three paintings in that same day.
Yeah.
Like that.
Wow.
But I get focused and get lost into to that
Mm-hmm.
world,
Mm-hmm.
and I started enjoying it. And it really started out just painting for myself. I won't,
Yeah.
I didn't think nobody would like anything that I did. Because
Mm-hmm.
and so I had that attitude about if they didn't want it, they ain't got to get it. I said, because I can keep it myself.
Yeah.
and
Right.
because
No, I think
I had
no,
this
go.
one lady, she come from the state, and I think she done died now, but she come down when Debbie Bonds had told her about me painting, and she came down to check my paintings during that same time.
Mm-hmm.
And she came into my house. I don't know what she was thinking, but I think she thought I lived on the back porch somewhere, barefoot or something. Because when she came to my house, she said, "This where you live?" I said, "Yeah." And so she came in and she started looking. She said, "When is your art showing?" I said, "It'll be next week." And she started looking around and she picked out a painting and she said, "How much is this?" And I said, $250. She said, "You are a new artist, aren't you?" I said, "Yes." She said, "Well, most new artists don't they sell their painting for like $25, $75." I said, "Well, that's most new artists." I said, and I told her the same thing I had told her. I said, "I really do it for myself. So if you don't want it, fine," like that.
Yeah.
So she started picking out another one. I told her the same thing, that price for that one. And then she said, "I tell you what, after your art showing, I'll come back." She thought I wasn't gonna sell now, right? But
Right.
guess what? At my first art showing, I sold 17 paintings.
Wow.
17 paintings made over 4,000 and some dollars in an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And so that taught me, like he said, whatever I thought. So,
That's right. Yeah. Got to stick to
and
your guns on that too.
and I've actually sold over 500 some paintings since then.
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
Yep.
I think you brought a few of your paintings there with you. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what's going
Yep.
to be easier if you want to hold them up or do you want with Winifred or I to pull them up on the screen? I don't know which is
Okay.
easier to do.
Like, wait, maybe this one. You got them up on your screen, though, don't you? Yeah,
Yeah.
you
So
got
she,
them. Mm-hmm.
yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, could you just tell people just I think this looking at specific paintings will give them more of a sense of the different subjects that turn up in your art. And
But sometimes I get in the mood just to do some flowers. And my flowers may not look like the real flowers, but they my
hmm
flowers in my head, you know. And I can actually visualize them in my head and seeing them, like for real, like sitting there and then like over here you got the instrument, uh, like it's somebody that plays that instrument and a bottle of water on the side, you know, uh, and that painting that basket of flowers is just like sitting on the outside because you can see it like on a porch, and it's sitting on the outside. So that one just was something in my head, and I liked the colors and wanted to do something bright on that, and that's on cardboard too.
okay, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess I can't
Hmm.
see that. Well,
Hmm.
people would say Cezanne and Van Gogh paintings don't look like real flowers either, so I don't see any reason why
Hmm.
yours need to either.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. Do we have an example there? Another example to look at?
Yeah. Okay. That one is one of my favorites. It don't it This is the first time I took it off my wall.
Mm,
It's a story. Like most of my paintings are stories in my head.
yeah.
Okay, like this one is like on a dark, lonely road at night. And it's supposed, like I said, it's supposed to be dark, but it's the light on because the camera got it bright.
Yeah.
And coming up the road is the angel is walking, coming for the person
Mhm.
that's inside that little house. It's kind of a dark painting, you know. And the angel is coming down there. Can't nobody see him, but he's coming for that person in that house. Yeah.
And
And
angels show up in a lot of your paintings.
I
Maybe,
believe in angels.
yeah.
If I said this before on a documentary they did on me, and people may think I'm crazy, but when I was a little bitty kid, but when I was almost 4, and we
Mm,
was, and I was raised in Adamville, like I say, and we were sitting out on the porch, and that was during the days when people sit out on the porch, but we had no TVs and all that stuff going on.
right.
But and the whole family was sitting out there, and it was real dark. And I remember as a little kid, and I kept looking up at the sky, and all of a sudden, I heard music that nobody else heard, and I'm saying, "Y'all hear that? Y'all hear that?" Nobody else, So, and to me, it's like I saw a glow, and to me, it was in my head, it went angel. Okay. So the next morning, I was humming what I heard. And that's when my dad heard me singing, you know, and I believe in angels. And I just
Yeah.
always believe it was an angel there watching over me. Uh, it had to be one because I was, okay, I'm going to tell you this.
Mm.
And I'm going way back, and I don't think I said this before. But when I was born, I didn't weigh but 3 pounds and 4 ounces. And I was a 7-month baby. And they didn't expect me to live. Um, Matter of fact, that was when doctors would come into your house. So
Yeah.
when I was born, um, they said that like, the doctor told them, my mom said, the doctor told them not to get used to me because I wasn't gonna live long enough to crawl. And I'm 70 years old now. So the doctor was wrong.
Yeah. Thank
And
goodness.
but I always believed there was an angel there with me in times of trouble. If you knew some of the stuff that didn't happen to me, and I always would talk to what I thought was an angel there with me. So I believe in angels. I believe
Mm.
they protect you if you listen. If you listen, if you don't listen, then something always happens. But if you listen, it'll get you out of a lot of stuff, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah. So that's one reason why I paint a lot of angels because the angels always be
Mm.
there to protect you. Like okay, like this painting right here. Now he's coming down a raggedy bridge. If you can see the angels standing back,
Mm.
watching over him, if he coming down that bridge and stuff, yeah, they be there protecting you. I believe it.
Yeah.
So some can say I'm crazy, but hey,
No, not at all.
if you got to believe in something, I better believe in it. Angels didn't believe in some of this other stuff they believe in.
Mm.
Yeah.
Amen to that. Um, I think if it's okay, I'll share my screen here for a second just to look at
Hmm.
one
Hmm.
or two other pieces. So this one was one that you called a winter, I think you called Winter Dream.
Hmm.
And I wanted you to maybe talk to people a little bit about this one because you've also talked about the way that could you explain the way that dreams inspire some of your artwork?
Yes. Okay. This one is the lady leaving home, and it's the winter time. But she decided she had been fed up with whatever been going on in her life, and she leaving now.
Okay,
And
the bags in her hand, maybe.
bags in her hand, and she
Yeah.
ready to roll because
Mm.
she took all she gonna take. And I've been through that with the ex-husband. But anyway,
Yeah.
I've been through that and know when it's time to go, it's time to go.
Okay.
And that was like just something like part of my dream,
Yeah.
because I have had real crazy dream. I had one dream that somebody stole the painting that I had made. Uh,
Mm.
I had a dream one night and woke up. I was going through some bad times, and I woke up and pulled my paintings and my canvases, and I painted this painting, and it was like a silver moon on a river, and it was two angels on each side, and both of them had scrolls in their hand, and like they was opening up
Oh,
uh,
wow.
another universe. It
Uh-huh.
was a beautiful painting. I did it in purple and white, and it was beautiful. And I had like a swan in there somewhere. It was a swan on the lake. Yeah, it was on the lake and stuff. And somebody stole my painting. I'm talking about stole it and wouldn't give it back. I know who stole it, and they wouldn't give it back to me. They was a little crazy too. So, but uh, but
So
that's just
did
like one of my dreams and stuff.
yeah.
And
Do you feel like the dreams usually connect to experiences you've had in life, or do they sometimes come just from out of left field? Something.
some of them from the experiences I done had in life.
Yeah.
Uh, Because I haven't had what you call I mean, I'm grateful to God for letting me be here and go through some stuff, but I hadn't had what you call a happy life.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So
I do.
sometimes you had to escape to keep from going crazy in this world. You had to escape in your own world, and mine was through paintings. So I would paint stuff,
Yeah,
uh, dreams, sometimes dreams of happy stuff that makes me happy, and sometimes they get a little dark. And I've had some dark paintings that scared me.
yeah.
But I got one friend. She loved all my dog paintings, and she'll come by 'em.
Oh, okay.
She got a kick out of them dog paintings I do sometimes. But look, I got to share this with you. I had a painting that
Mm.
I drew. It scared me. I had I
Wow.
would cover it up every time I walked by it at the house. I would cover it up so I wouldn't have to look at it because it scared me. I had one day I had this a box, but accidentally it was sent to me. It's supposed to have been canvases, but they were paper, drawing paper.
Hmm.
And so I said, now what am I gonna do with this on paper? So one day I just took the paper out and I just took some black paint and I just was switching it across, and all of a sudden the images started showing up in the on the paper, right? And one of them ended up being like a uh this lady with dressed like a nun, like, and she was playing an upright bass. I mean, just instantly on that paper, and the eyes just showed up on the paper, and they were looking right at you. Now that was kind of scary. So when I finished doing it, and all these images were showing up on it, I was like, something wrong with this. And but when she saw it, she loved it, and she was determined to get that painting, and she got it too. Hurriedly, I let her have it. Somebody else might have liked it too, but it scared the heck out of me.
Oh my goodness.
So I would have little, times like that I did dog paintings.
Yeah.
This one was like um, was from like Mama Thornton or the other lady. I was motivated by this one.
Bessie
Uh,
Smith and people like that.
yeah, back in the day, and
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of her name. Let me see, Mama Thornton. We had did a
Hmm.
show. I did a show with Robert Cummings. Had put on Mama Thornton thing, and he hired
Oh,
me
okay.
to
Wow.
sing. And it was after the show, and for some reason I was motivated to do this. But this, he said, this not this. The other lady. Um, I can't think of her name. That she wore hats and stuff. But anyway, and she
Mm.
played guitar back in the day.
Yeah.
So it's kind of motivated from way back in the 30s and 40s. That right there, yeah.
Hmm.
That painting there, I decided to do it at a club where the lady was playing the guitar.
Yeah.
Sometimes my mind rolled back to stuff like that, and I paint that kind of thing.
Hmm.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
but that one, yeah,
Yeah.
that's one of my favorites. Hmm.
That was a beautiful piece.
Oh,
Um,
thank you.
yeah, I
Yeah,
like that. I think if we think about your music and your visual artwork alongside each other, could you say a little bit about like what does music allow you to express? What does the artwork allow you to express? Right? Are they from similar impulses, or do you think like music allows me to
melody.
express this part of myself? Does that make
Uh
sense?
huh. Yeah. Uh huh. They
Yeah.
to me they combine, they together. Cause music is my life and the paintings is my life now.
Mm.
And when I can put them together, that makes me happy. I love doing my musical paintings, because
Mm.
I can see myself on stage, playing
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and everything, and how I would think in my head. I'm actually seeing the show. I'm actually seeing what's going on. Nobody else
Hmm.
can see it, but I try my best to put it on the painting. So if you can visualize what's going on at the club and stuff, and so and some of it come from like musicians that I've known for years that's that's passed and gone.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I put their images in the painting. Yeah, and that one, that's I had did this painting that I don't have no more. I done it 3 times, and each time I did it for myself, somebody got it. So this time I decided I'd do 3 women's with the same outfit but different colors. And so that one is yeah, musical day. Sisters out there singing, you know, doing their
Mm-hmm.
thing. Out there in the band playing behind them.
Mm-hmm.
I could see that too. I could
Look like
actually
the
see the
yeah.
concert going on.
Look like they're dressed in a stylish fashion too.
I can see them having fun and doing their thing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that one.
I think maybe do we want to check in with Winfred and Paul and see if there are any questions?
Hello. Hello.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't see any questions right
You don't
now.
have any questions? Okay. Well, let me just ask Elnora, is there anything else that we haven't touched on yet? Do you want to share?
Oh, have I talked too much?
No, well, not at all. I'm not. I think I was
Sometimes
told, I'm
I
trying
get
to, these are all
sometimes
interesting stories. I think
yes,
we've covered quite a bit of ground.
and sometimes I get a little carried away when I go to reminiscing back
Oh
and
no,
stuff. And
You say it
I,
like it's a bad thing.
well, I got so many
that's right.
things that didn't happen, so many stories I
Yeah.
could tell you about that. I've been asked
Well,
to write a book, really. Music
May
and
I
well,
ask?
foundation to write a book, but I haven't been able to find me a ghostwriter.
yeah, I do realize we're only scratching the surface, but I appreciate all your time and willingness to share these
Appreciate you.
experiences. Oh yeah, for sure. I've learned a lot
Can,
from this. Thank you.
Yeah.
can I have a question? Um, as far as music is concerned, did you ever think about or especially in the church, there's musicians and stuff floating around all the time. Do you ever explore like playing an instrument, or is it just, or do you know how to play any other instruments, or is it just singing?
Well, when I was young, I wanted to play the piano. I started out taking lessons, and my mama sold my piano, and that that kind of ended that. But I always wanted to play the piano. Uh, and a few of the musicians said they were going to teach me. They never did. And I love the saxophone music and the guitar. But one time, my drummer didn't show up, and I got behind the drums, and I kept the beat. I kept the beat on the drums. But yes, I wish I had really deep down in learning the instruments. Because right now, if I could play the piano right now, I'd be in a lounge somewhere, just singing and playing by myself. Yeah, I wish I had. Yeah. Okay.
Winfred, are there any more questions?
No, I don't see any.
All right. Thank you very much. Stacy, thank you so much.
Oh, absolutely.
Elnora,
My pleasure.
thank you.
Thank y'all for
Thanks
having me.
again to ArtsRevive and Alabama Humanities Alliance for making this conversation possible. And we'll look forward to getting this posted on YouTube, where people who couldn't join us today can enjoy it very soon. Thank you all so much.
And thank you. Bye,
Thank
y'all.
you. Bye.
Some others I've seen, they try to be mean, they try to be cross, Lord, they try to be boss. No, that wouldn't do. For nobody else give me a thrill.